All right. So are you ready to dive into this?
Oh, yeah.
You've given us a ton of info on reliability and maintenance, and it's all about this company called IDCon.
Yeah.
We've got all these PDFs, some with pretty interesting titles like RORM, idahammer.pdf, and IDCon, RORM.pdf.
Mm-hmm.
Let's dig into these and see what we can learn.
Yeah, I think that's great.
About keeping
things running smoothly.
Yeah, exactly. Keeping things running smoothly.
Yeah. So what I found fascinating is how this company, IDCon, has this laser focus. Like, they've been around for a while.
Okay.
Founded in Sweden in 1972 and then moved to the U.S. in 1985.
Wow.
They've been helping clients improve their reliability and lower costs, but it's like they embody that old saying about the fox and the hedgehog.
Okay, remind me about that one.
Yeah, so the Greek poet Archilochus, he said, the fox knows many things, but the hedgehog knows one big thing.
Okay.
And IDCon's one big thing is results-oriented reliability and maintenance, or,
RORM for short.
RORM.
Yeah.
Got it.
Instead of trying to be everything to everyone, they've really mastered this one concept.
So instead of offering the buffet of services, they're kind of serving up this prime rib on the RORM, and they've become experts at preparing it.
That's a great analogy.
How does this play out in the real world?
Yeah.
Especially when businesses are always looking to cut costs.
That's the eternal struggle, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cost versus reliability.
Mm-hmm.
And IDCon tackles this head on. I mean, it's tempting to slash costs wherever possible, right?
Right.
But IDCon argues that this can actually backfire spectacularly, leading to what they call a death spiral.
A death spiral? That sounds ominous.
Yeah.
What do they mean by that?
Well, take a look at these graphs from the materials you provided.
Okay.
They show that when companies focus solely on cutting costs, reliability takes a nosedive.
Oh, wow.
And then you end up spending even more to fix the problems that arise.
Oh, so you're from that decreased reliability.
Penny wise and pound foolish.
Exactly. It's a vicious cycle.
So how do they propose we escape this death spiral?
By shifting the focus to what they call overall production efficiency.
Okay.
Or OPE.
OPE.
Yeah, think of it like a three-legged stool.
Okay.
Availability, quality, and speed.
All right.
You need all three for optimal performance.
Availability, that's like how often things are up and running.
Exactly. How good the output is when things are working.
Okay.
And speed is how fast can you produce without sacrificing the first two.
Yeah, and it just makes me realize how interconnected all of these things are.
Absolutely.
In my own work, too.
And here's where IDCon gets really impressive.
Okay.
They've identified 286 best practice elements related to reliability and maintenance.
286.
Yeah, they've really dissected the whole process to understand what makes things tick.
Wow, that's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, it is.
But let's maybe just start with one that seems fundamental. Yeah. Preventive maintenance.
Absolutely. IDCon is a huge proponent of moving beyond just reactive repairs.
Yeah.
Where you're just scrambling to fix things after they break.
Right.
They champion this proactive approach.
Okay.
To prevent failures from even happening in the first place.
So it's kind of like going to the doctor for a checkup instead of waiting until you're in the emergency room.
Exactly.
Okay.
Makes perfect sense.
Makes sense. So what does that look like in practice?
So they have a specific framework called Essential Care and Condition Monitoring.
Okay.
Or PMECCM.
PMECCM.
Yeah, think of it as a 1-2 punch essential care tasks. Like making sure things are properly lubricated and aligned, combined with condition monitoring techniques.
Right.
To spot those problems before they become major headaches.
So it's like keeping an eye on the engine temperature gauge in your car.
Exactly.
If it starts creeping up, you know something's wrong and you
address it.
Can address it.
Before it overheats.
Before it's too late. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, and they give some really detailed examples in the materials of what this looks like in practice.
Right.
There's this fascinating visual.
Yes.
Where they break down all the inspection procedures for this massive gearbox and motor used in a raw coal operation.
It's a beast.
Wait, hold on. Let's dive into that for a second.
Okay.
What kind of things are they checking on this gigantic piece of equipment?
Well, they start with a visual inspection.
Okay.
Just looking for any signs of wear and tear leaks or anything out of the ordinary. Then they go deeper.
Okay.
Checking things like vibration levels.
Okay.
Oil analysis, and thermal imaging.
Wow.
They even recommend using ultrasonic testing to detect those internal cracks that you wouldn't be able to see with the naked eye.
They're not messing around.
No, they're not.
So preventive maintenance is key, but what about planning and scheduling.
Right.
I feel like that's where things often fall apart.
Yeah.
At least in my experience. It's all this reactive chaos.
Yeah.
Oh, no, something's broken. Everybody scramble.
Right. You're hitting on a major pain point for a lot of companies.
Yeah.
And IDCon is adamant that we need to move beyond that chaotic, find the right people to fix problem cycle.
Yeah.
That eats up so much time and money.
And they even have this activity in the materials called fill in the blanks. Planning and scheduling optimizes time.
I love that.
Where you actually have to estimate how much time is wasted each day.
Right.
On things like waiting for instructions.
Oh, yeah.
Searching for supervisors.
Wow.
Making trips for materials.
It's a lot.
It is, and I'm actually like doing it right now in my head as you're saying it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of scary
It is.
how much time gets wasted just because things aren't properly planned.
It's a real eye-opener.
Yeah, you start to see how much more efficient things could be if we just
took the time
to plan things out.
And to really drive home the point. They provide this real-world example of a gear case repair.
Okay.
The unplanned repair cost almost 3 times as much as the planned repair.
Ouch.
Mainly because of all the downtime and lost production.
Yeah. That's a painful lesson.
It is.
So they've convinced me.
Good.
Preventative maintenance and planning are crucial.
Yes.
But what about the people involved in all this?
Right.
I mean, they're the ones actually doing the work.
Yeah, you're right. People are at the heart of it all.
Yeah.
And IDCon has a really interesting perspective on this.
Okay.
They believe that people's performance is often limited. Not so often by their skills, but more often by the system they work in.
That's really making me think
Yeah.
about how we reward people in our own organization.
Uh-huh.
It often does seem to incentivize the wrong things.
For sure.
We end up praising the firefighters who rush in to fix things at the last minute
Right.
instead of recognizing the people who are diligently working behind the scenes to prevent those fires in the first place.
Right. You're inadvertently reinforcing that culture of reactivity instead of proactivity.
It's a question worth pondering.
It is.
Now, I remember them mentioning something about a mountain analogy.
Yes.
What was that all about?
The mountain visual.
Okay.
It's a really clever way to illustrate
Okay.
the typical journey a company takes
Right.
as it shifts from that reactive maintenance approach towards a more reliability-centered culture.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
Think of it as stages of enlightenment.
Walk me through this mountain. Where does the climb begin?
Well, at the base of the mountain, you have the run-to-failure approach,
Okay.
which is all about reacting to breakdowns as they happen.
Okay.
This is where a lot of companies start.
Yeah.
And it's usually a pretty chaotic and costly place to be.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah.
So how do we start climbing towards that reliability summit?
Well, the first step up the mountain is moving into preventative maintenance, which is what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
This is where you start scheduling those regular maintenance tasks
Right.
to reduce the likelihood of those unplanned breakdowns.
Okay, so we're starting to get a handle on things.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing there's more to this journey
Oh, there's much more to it
than just preventative maintenance.
than just preventive maintenance.
Where does it go from there?
Well, there are several more stages to the climb,
Okay.
but we'll save those for the next part of our deep dive.
All right, you got me hooked.
Good.
I can't wait to see what other challenges and triumphs await us on this mountain of reliability.
It's going to be good.
All right.
All right. So, as we're exploring this mountain of reliability, it's striking how IDCon emphasizes the business case for all of this.
Okay.
It's not just about keeping machines humming along. It's about making a real impact on the bottom line.
Oh, now you're speaking my language.
Yeah,
So they're not just gearheads. They actually understand the financial side of things.
absolutely. They actually lay out this financial model to show how even small improvements in reliability can significantly boost profitability.
Okay, all ears, break it down for me.
Okay.
How do they connect reliability to cold hard cash?
Well, they start with a simple equation.
All right.
Revenue from sales minus variable costs equals contribution.
Okay, basic business stuff, but where does reliability fit into all of this?
Well, think about it. If your equipment is constantly breaking down, you're not going to be producing as much, right?
Right. Less output equals less money coming in, simple enough.
Right.
But I'm guessing there's more to it.
Reliability doesn't just affect the top line, it hits your variable costs too.
Oh, okay.
If you're constantly doing those reactive repairs, you're shelling out more money for spare parts overtime for your workers, even expedited shipping.
Oh, yeah.
To get things up and running ASP.
So improving reliability could actually help us save money on those day-to-day costs.
Exactly. And here's the beautiful part. Fixed costs, those things like salaries and depreciation, generally stay the same no matter how much you're producing.
Right.
So when you increase revenue A&D, reduce those variable costs,
Yeah.
a bigger chunk of that contribution falls to the bottom line as profit.
Okay, I'm seeing the light.
Yeah.
A little tweak in reliability can ripple through the entire financial picture. That's powerful stuff.
It really is. And IDCon doesn't just talk about this in theory.
Right.
They have concrete examples.
Okay.
They show how increasing overall production reliability from 88% to 94%.
Okay.
That's just a 6% bump.
Yeah.
Could boost return on assets from 5.1% to 8%.
Wow, that's not just a bump, that's a leap.
Right. And I saw something about how a potential market price increase could make that returns skyrocket even higher to 17%.
Yeah.
Now, those are numbers that'll make any executive sit up and take notice.
It's a brilliant way to demonstrate the value of investing in reliability.
Yeah.
It's not just another expense, it's a strategic move that can drive serious financial returns. So IDCon is basically handing us the ammo we need to convince the higher-ups that reliability isn't just some maintenance issue, it's a core business issue.
Exactly. They're helping us shift the conversation from just cutting costs to actually creating more value.
And I love how they tie all of this back to their central philosophy of results-oriented reliability and maintenance. It's not just about keeping things running for the sake of it, it's about achieving real, tangible business results.
It's a holistic approach that takes into account both the technical nuts and bolts of reliability and the financial realities of running a business.
Yeah.
It's about getting everyone on the same page, working towards that shared goal of maximizing value.
Now that we've tackled the financial side of things,
Yeah.
I'm eager to climb back up that mountain of reliability and see what other insights await us at the higher levels.
Okay.
What's next on this journey?
Remember how we started at the base camp with run to failure?
Yes.
That reactive approach is like trying to climb the mountain without any gear or planning.
Yikes. A recipe for disaster.
Right.
So we took a step up with preventative maintenance, but I'm guessing there are more sophisticated strategies for navigating this terrain.
There are. And that's where things get really exciting.
Okay.
The next stage of the climb takes us to the realm of predictive maintenance.
Okay.
But before we unpack that,
Yeah.
let's take a quick breather and regroup at the start of our next session.
Okay, so we're back.
Yes, we are.
And ready to continue our climb up this mountain of reliability.
That's right.
We've tackled that treacherous run-to-failure approach
Yeah.
and found our footing with preventative maintenance.
Yep.
So what's next on this ascent to a more reliable and profitable operation?
So as we move higher up the mountain, we enter the realm of predictive maintenance.
Ooh, predictive maintenance.
Yeah, think of this as upgrading your gear
Okay.
and getting a map of the terrain.
Okay, I'm liking this analogy.
Yeah.
So instead of just blindly reacting or
Yeah.
sticking to a rigid schedule,
Right.
we're starting to use some intelligence to guide our maintenance efforts.
Exactly. Predictive maintenance is all about leveraging data and technology
Okay.
to monitor equipment condition
Yeah.
and anticipate potential problems.
So we're talking about things like sensors,
Yes.
data analysis,
Yes.
maybe even some fancy AI algorithms.
You got it. Imagine having sensors on your critical equipment that are constantly gathering data
Wow.
on things like temperature, vibration, pressure, and even oil analysis.
So we're not just relying on visual inspections or gut feelings anymore.
Nope.
We're getting hard data
Yes.
that can tell us what's really going on inside those machines.
Precisely. And here's where the predictive part comes in.
Okay.
By analyzing those data trends over time, you can start to see patterns and anomalies that might indicate a potential problem brewing.
So it's like noticing that your car engine is making a slightly different sound than usual.
Yeah.
A subtle clue that something might be off,
Right.
even if it's not causing any noticeable problems yet.
Perfect analogy. And
Yeah.
just like you'd take your car to the mechanic to get that noise checked out,
Yeah.
predictive maintenance allows you to address those subtle signs
Okay.
in your equipment before they turn into major breakdowns.
This is making a lot of sense, but I'm guessing there's an even higher peak
There is.
on this mountain of reliability.
Yeah.
Where does predictive maintenance lead us?
Well, as you continue climbing,
Yeah.
you reach a point where you're not just predicting problems,
Right.
but truly optimizing the life cycle of your assets.
Oh, wow.
This is the realm of condition-based maintenance.
So we're moving beyond just preventing failures and
Yeah.
actually extending the life of our equipment.
Exactly. Condition-based maintenance is all about taking corrective action based on the real-time condition of your equipment.
Okay.
You're constantly monitoring, analyzing, and adjusting your maintenance strategy
Right.
to squeeze every ounce of performance and longevity out of your assets.
This is sounding pretty sophisticated.
It is.
What kind of tools and techniques are used to achieve this level of optimization?
Well, you're still using sensors and data analysis like in predictive maintenance,
Okay.
but you're taking it to a whole new level.
All right.
Imagine having a digital twin of your equipment, a virtual representation that mirrors the real-time condition of the physical asset.
Whoa, that's some next level stuff.
It is.
So we can basically see inside the machine virtually
Yeah,
and know exactly what's going on.
that's the idea. And with all of this data at your fingertips, you can make incredibly informed decisions
Wow.
about when and how to intervene with maintenance.
So we're not just reacting to problems
Yeah.
or sticking to a predetermined schedule.
Yeah.
We're making data-driven decisions to ensure that our equipment is always operating at peak performance
Yes,
and lasting as long as possible.
precisely. And that brings us to the summit of our mountain,
All right.
the ultimate goal of this entire journey. Reliability-centered maintenance.
Okay, the air is getting thin up here.
It is.
This sounds like the holy grail of reliability.
What does it take to reach this peak?
RCM is where everything we've talked about comes together. It's about integrating maintenance engineering and operational practices
Okay.
to achieve the highest levels of reliability and performance.
So it's not just the maintenance team's responsibility anymore.
Yeah.
It's a company-wide culture
Yeah.
and philosophy.
Exactly. It's about breaking down silos and getting everyone working together towards that common goal of reliability.
Wow.
And IDCon emphasizes that this is a journey, not a destination.
Right. We can't just expect to teleport to the top of the mountain overnight.
Nope.
It takes time, effort, and a willingness to embrace change.
It does. And speaking of change, IDCon doesn't just lay out these concepts in a theoretical vacuum.
Right.
They provide real-world examples of companies that have
Right.
successfully made this climb.
Oh, I'd love to hear about that. Do they have any case studies that really stand out?
There's a fascinating one about a pulp and paper mill.
They started at the base of the mountain, struggling with constant breakdowns and lost production.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
But by gradually implementing the principles and strategies we've been discussing, they were able to steadily climb towards higher levels of reliability.
So they actually show how a real company was able to transform their operations.
They do, and what's really cool is that they break down the financial impact of each stage of the journey.
Wow.
You can see how their return on assets steadily increased as they climbed higher up the mountain.
Okay.
It's proof that this stuff really works.
That's incredibly inspiring. It shows that even companies in industries with complex and demanding operations can achieve significant improvements in reliability if they're willing to put in the effort.
Absolutely. And remember that key insight from IDCon that we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Most organizations know what to do. Best organizations do it.
Right.
It's a powerful call to action to bridge the gap between knowledge and execution.
Absolutely. So what's the main takeaway for our listeners today? What's the one thing we want them to remember from this deep dive into the world of reliability and maintenance?
I think the biggest takeaway is that reliability is not just a technical issue.
Yeah.
It's a business issue. It's about creating value, improving performance, and ultimately driving profitability.
And while the journey to reliability might seem daunting at first, we've seen that there's a clear path to the summit.
Yeah.
By embracing the principles of RORM and implementing the strategies outlined by IDCon, any organization can start their climb towards a more reliable and profitable future.
And if you're looking for more guidance and resources, I highly recommend checking out IDCon's website. It's www.idcon.com.
Great.
They have a wealth of information that can help you on your journey.
Well, there you have it. We've scaled the mountain of reliability, explored the intricacies of RORM, and discovered how even small improvements can yield significant financial rewards.
We've gone from reactive firefighting to proactive prevention, from gut feelings to data-driven decisions, and from isolated efforts to company-wide collaboration.
And most importantly, we've learned that reliability is not just a destination. It's a continuous journey of improvement
Yes.
and optimization.
That's right.
So keep climbing, keep learning, and keep striving for those higher peaks of reliability.
Yes,
The view from the summit is definitely worth the effort.
it is.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It was my pleasure.
Until next time, stay curious and keep those machines running smoothly.
See ya.